Hello guys, and welcome back to another For Honor Heroes build video. Today we are working on the Hitokiri, and the mode we're focused around is the breach defense. So let's go ahead and go into the 3 perk selection that we select for this mode. Now I choose Aegis, Shields Up, and Vengeful Barrier. The reason why that is because we're not so worried about our lives. We're more worried about going into the fight, knocking down the enemy response, and holding back that ramp as much as possible. So this means from the start of the battle you want to get into the fight. You don't need to wait for bulk up to gain renown level to increase in health. Last stand, yeah, it's nice, but it only works if you're in critical health, and it's more for trying to stay alive, as in breach attack. Bastion you're not going to use because you're not going to really be in zones. Carrying the shield banner, you get hit once, so that one hit of you taking damage is only reduced by 10%. Now fresh focus is nice, but in my opinion I'm not trying to use anything that's going to help me when I'm exhausted, because I'm really trying my best as I fight not to be in an exhausted state. Now moving on from explaining why we don't use those perks, we're going to explain why we use Aegis, Shields Up, and Vengeful Barrier, besides the point of trying to get into the fray at the start of the battle with as much health and shields as possible. So Shields Up allows you to be having a 15 health shield upon respawn and revive. So that means when you start, every time you press X to respawn, or every time you get revived. Now we might not be getting revived as much because you're in defense. It's about getting out there, doing as much damage, not trying to really revive each other, even though it is beneficial, but most of the time you won't be getting revived. But Aegis allows your 15 health shield to be increased by about 4 to 6, I believe. I was doing the math. I'll go ahead and do the math for you right here. So with Aegis and the 15 health shield, you're going to have 18 health shields. So it only gives 3 to the Shields Up, but when it comes to Vengeful Barrier, it gives a lot more. So with your feats, etc., Shields Up, you're going into the fight. You might get into range, most likely because you're going to have a good amount of health. Once you get into revenge, you have 25. This actually gives you 5 more. So when you do exit revenge, instead of having a 25 health shield, because you have Aegis, you're going to have a 30 health shield. You may not think it's much different, but that's about 2 light attacks or heavy attacks, or 2.5 heavy attacks actually. So not 2.5, but like it's 1 full heavy attack and it'll shut off half the damage of another heavy attack before it hits your actual health. The reason why I choose this is because we're trying, and then also when you pick up shield banners, it increases the shield banner's amount. If you notice, they reduce how much the shield banner gives you. Not shield banner, but the shield boost. If you go to a shield boost, it doesn't completely fill your whole health bar with a shield. With Aegis, this will do so. So this is just my opinion. It's a fast little work, having a lot of shield. Just keep going at the enemy, maintaining shields as you respawn, revive, as you get out of revenge. Now we're going on to the feats. Now the feats we choose here are gain a shield and uninterruptible stance while executing an enemy hero. This is one that I use for breach attack. This only allows you to knock down the respawn times that the players have, the respawn lives that the players have. Regardless if they're trying to stop you, you can execute every player and most of the time not get interrupted unless somebody guard breaks you, who figures enough too. This allows you to reduce the respawn lives of your enemy team. I choose that over fast recovery and iron lungs because iron lungs, again, in my opinion, is one of the most useless feats out there. You have to be out of stamina, which means you're exhausted, and the only thing you can see about using this is to run away. Why are you going to sprint when you're exhausted? Only to try to run away. But if you even try to do that, you're still going to get hit in the back by the enemy, or you might get guard broken. Fast recovery is nice, but for this mode, we're trying to knock down the enemy respawn lives and prevent them from getting any further into the fort towards your commander. This is why we go with Deliverance. Now, Bloodlust is a nice feat when you're on the on the defense side of Breach, because it allows you, if you're getting grouped up against attackers who are trying to keep their respawns up, you can go in there. Once you take out one, from that one kill, you can go around and having a high attack and defense boost, which allows you to, your lights will hit like heavies and your heavies will hit like freaking omega heavies, okay? I literally take out players with like 2 to 3 lights after I kill another player whenever I have Bloodlust activated. And also your defense is boosted, allowing you to withstand and stay in the fight longer, especially in a ganky situation. I choose that over Tainted Gift because yes, this is nice. It give some health to your players, but that player has to be executed. Half the time when I mark a player with Tainted Gift, my surrounding teammates players don't execute them, so it doesn't give any benefit to nobody, which in my opinion is a waste of a second feat. It is nice. You can execute players around your commander, and it does give your commander some health. But again, players half of the time do not execute enemy players unless it's yourself and you know you need to do it. That's the only time, most of the time, you're going to get this activated feat beneficial to you. That's why I went with Bloodlust. Righteous Deflection, it allows you to have high damage reduction for a short period of time after you parry. Now this is good for attack with the heal on block, but since we're using defense, we already have Spirit Shroud, which is going to give us damage reduction the whole time we're alive until we die after we execute a player, which is going to go good with your shields up and your eventual barrier. This is the reason why I didn't use Last Stand as a perk. So that's the reason why I'm using Spirit Shout, and the reason why I choose that over Heal on Block and Nikikubi or Nikapoop. No, I'm just playing. But it's because we're not really focused on staying alive. Yeah, you don't want to stay in the fight with Heal on Block. It gives you a slight amount. I don't have Last Stand, so it's not going to benefit me too much staying alive with Heal on Block. It will keep me alive, but our lives don't matter. It's all about doing damage to the players. So when your other teammate comes, he can finish them off, or you guys can finish all of them off together. Spirit Shell gives you damage reduction the whole time after executing a player, which is going to be way beneficial than Heal on Block in this situation. Nikupi gives stamina on successful hits. Now, this is like one of the least perks you probably need in these modes. It is a nice perk, but it's not one that I would go with when it comes to Breach Defense, because you don't need stamina. I mean, yeah, you need stamina, but we're focused on killing the enemies and staying alive. As you guys can see, that this build is built around. Going on to the fourth feat, I choose Sinbazakura, and the reason why I choose that over Regenerate and Fear itself is because we don't need to heal as much as you would if you're a Breach attack. There is heal zones to heal and other ways that your teammates can help you heal in this mode. Fear itself is nice. It does lower the defense of enemy players, allowing you to do way much more damage to them, hitting like Omega Heavies and Heavy Lights. That's what it feels like when they're in this radius. Now, people will run away from you. It is good when there's a group of players and you activate it, but we want to go ahead and launch an attack, get executions in as much as possible to literally reduce the live respawn count of the enemy team. This is what you're focused around. This is what you want to go with, and that is the build for the Hitokiri on Breach Defense. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for taking your time to watch. I can't wait for the new hero. I hope you guys can't wait for that build. And until next time, guys, I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you so much.